Do you take any flex pictures today, Scumma?
No flex pictures today. I did legs, so I mean, I work on my legs more before I start flexing out my little fucking chicken legs.
That's fair. But you know, the calves. People go crazy now that OnlyFans is getting rid of explicit photo. I feel like your feet and calf pics. Those are gonna go wild on it now.
Well, I mean, I figure you had the market pretty much, cornered on feet pics. So I mean, maybe calves will be my area.
It's a new meta.
It is. So, what did
that.
I miss in the last 2 hours? Has there been a new wave of bans, or what are we doing?
So rookie premieres came out. The sets were wrong, and so like it's so funny, right? When we're like, you could be spending your time like QAing your shit on stuff like this, but instead you spend it banning people. Instead you spend it taking training away, searching for people that did this. I just want to talk like, what are your overall impressions? We're gonna I want to hear from each of you of Madden 22 so far. Is this like the worst MUT launch? Now we can talk about gameplay in a bit, but like MUT launch, is this like the biggest FU year to the community that we've seen? Scummo?
Well, I feel like right now, and I mean, I was trying to kind of talking to my stream about this right now. Everyone was asking me like what I feel about the game and that kind of stuff. And I mean, with everything going on, I'm still having fun playing the game because like my biggest complaints and my biggest issues, obviously defense needs to be fixed, and that's a huge frustration. And I mean, there's no debating that, but the game feels smooth to me. I feel like the things that need to be fixed can be fixed. I mean, yes, it gets annoying when it's like the same things that are broken over again. Like, bro, like we've started the game with broken contains like 5 years in a row. You still can't send a spy correctly and some of the other stuff. But like, I feel like it's not as clunky. It's way smoother. And if they tune some stuff correctly, then I feel like the game could be in a great place. But the problem that we're having right now, and we've had these conversations before, is just the sentiment, what everyone thinks about Madden, what everyone thinks about EA, what everyone thinks about our community, and like that kind of stuff. And I mean, we're starting off the year once again with nothing but bad PR, bad, social media, bad communication, all these people getting banned before we even start with like no communication. And it doesn't matter if the people getting banned deserve to get banned or don't deserve to get banned. There was no communication. There was no thing like saying, hey, we understand everyone did these, everyone grind solos, everyone did these things like years ago, and they've been on our terms and agreements for a few years, but this year we're actually going to enforce them. So be careful, There was nothing like that. There was no information like whatsoever. And I feel like the communication and how they're doing stuff right now has hurt. And the biggest thing that I feel that Madden needed to improve this year was the stigma. And they've made it worse. They've made it worse with what we think about the people working there. They made it worse with how they communicate with their community. We're getting no information. And then when we question stuff, they're just like, nah, you guys are wrong. You're all lying. Everyone's banned. And it's just like, there's no way. I mean, I understand that 99.99% of people that botted or glitched or anything like that, no one's going to come forward and be like, oh, I cheated. Everyone's going to deny it to the death. I mean, that's fine. But there's just no way in my eyes that everyone that got banned should be banned. And if there's only 1% of incorrect bans, then like stuff needs to be talked about. And I mean, I feel with as bad as defense is right now, the biggest problem once again is the stigma and the communication with everyone. Like, it's horrible.
Yeah, without a doubt. Did Mike, do you have any response to that? Like, what do you think about like, everything Scomo said with communication with I got Discord up on the screen. What do you think? What do you think about what Scomo said?
I feel like,
what's your feelings?
I'm like almost identical to exactly what Scomo said. Like pretty much to a T. I think there's problems with the game. Like I think everyone across board can agree that there's glaring issues with certain deep zones, whether it's a quarter or a deep half or whatever it may be, or the way like thirds are weird. But that even started last year when they tried to fix the one play touchdowns. The those problems are glaring and obvious, and you really cannot deny it. So those are issues that need to be fixed 100%. No doubt about it. Then there's the question of, the movement, the way the user is, the reaction time, and I think that is up for debate on whether you like it or not. I think we all understand how EA's where they're going and what they're trying to go for with their gameplay. They're trying to appeal to the more casual player. They're trying to make it to where Madden is not such a difficult game to pick up and play.
Mike, what do you think about EA unbanning competitive players before they got to the regular players to unban them and their mistakes there? Is EA too focused on that? Well, you say they're catering to casuals, but it feels like a lot of times the opposite is true. They listen mostly to competitors.
Yeah.
Go on.
I would say
that's protecting themselves. That's protecting themselves. That's all there is. And I mean, not to call out any names or anything like this, but like we all know that comp guys are doing everything that everyone else is doing. I mean, I've seen the comp discords. Like, I know they're all sharing accounts. They're all glitching. They're all botting. They're on, PC and Xbox at the same time. They used all the training glitches and powered up every one of their cards for the tournament and shit like that. And just like, what do you mean? Like, it makes no sense. And I mean, that's the thing is like, if you're just going to let the comp guys do it, then you got to let everyone do it. If you're going to let your poster boys do it, that you're going to, belt winners and all these people, it's got to be equal standard to everyone. Little Jimmy needs to get the exact same treatment as a belt winner would get. There's no reason why not.
Yeah, I mean, I want the same. Obviously, they deserve the same treatment, but we just got to be realistic with how companies work. That's never going to happen. Like, one thing I remember back in the day, I say back in the day, like it's just forever ago. In 2020, when COVID first started, and
right,
it was.
What happens when you get old?
Yeah, Jesus Christ. So when COVID first started, it was like really hard to get tested for COVID. It was like a really big deal. It's like, oh, if you're sick, it was hard to get tested. And a huge thing was the NBA, when they were trying to start back up, was getting all of these pro athletes tested for COVID, and it was kind of like a requirement. It was not like, oh, I'm sick, I need to get tested. It was, we need to test these guys out to make sure they're good. Meanwhile, the other people that very obviously and desperately need the testing to see if they're okay didn't get it. And the reason why that happens is because certain people, at the end of the day, in the eyes of a business, are more important than others. Like, obviously, I don't agree with that necessarily, but that's just how it is. Like,
right, but like on the other hand, like conversations that I had, we all know it happens. It happens. It's literally happened to almost every single belt champion. Not before they win the belt, but the moment they win the belt, like literally on stream, touchdown, they're fucking giving their after game conference, they're getting interviewed. Yo, big shout out to my squad and shit. Already on Twitter is how they were exposed, what they said a year ago, what their glitches were. They did this. Here's his account. He bought it this, and that's going to happen again. It's literally going to happen again. Whoever loses, someone's going to get banned, someone wins, and they're going to expose them. Like, that's like,
the lesson of the story is we're all scumbags, and we all we all cheat, we all glitch. It's just some of us get in trouble for it, others don't.
Shouldn't there be a line in the sand though for cheating and glitching? Like, it's never always like black and white. All right, like you took advantage of this, you're banned, right? Like it's the same thing. Like you can say that about anything. Like, where's the line, right? Like, oh, you took advantage of cover 2 because you just threw a streak down the sideline. Like, that shouldn't get you banned. Like, taking advantage of the way the game plays in the game.
Saw that.
Right?
Yeah, I saw Chewbacca tweeted that out. It was one of his best tweets I've ever seen. Like, what are you gonna get? You're banned from exploiting the cover 2. Like, bro, come on.
Yeah, let me finish. Like where's the exploit? Like, if it's in the game, it's the game, right? Like, where's the line, right? I've always said bots are the one thing, because they ruin games, and they're like a third-party tool a lot of times, but like it's just in general bad for the game. But like, this is like, okay, going to GameStop, I said earlier in the stream, and getting a copy of Call of Duty for like $20, right? Are they gonna chase you down and make you pay 40 more, or go to your house and take it out of your console? Like, it's the business should just take the L and move on. Thanks, Baby Reese, for the sub. Go on. So you want to say something?
No, I got the perfect example for you, Mr. Fox. I got the perfect one.
Okay.
We sat there together and laughed our ass off in complete confusion and had no idea what the fuck was happening. Program 1, program 2, program 3. Bro, I did the third inning program in 45 minutes because my whole console glitched 650,000 XP in 45 minutes in 3 Conquest games. What are they going to do? Ban us because they told us to link the Xbox account to the PlayStation account? Like, that's in game. And like, that's what I feel like. Yes, if you're using bots and you're using third-party stuff, yes, that shouldn't be allowed. But the training thing or doing sets or anything in the game, like, bro, you let me click this button and it gave me this. This is your game. You programmed it. How the fuck am I getting in trouble? Like, what?
Yeah. They make us do the testing of the game, and then they ban us for it, right? And then they don't even pay for QA anymore. Yeah.
I think that's a really. I was watching your video earlier, God Fox, and I thought that was probably the most like undeniable best point that you made is us as the community. At the end of the day, even if it's not intentional, and obviously it isn't intentional, we are the play testers. We're the people that figure out what's broken, what doesn't work, what does work, and then it's not up to us to be like, oh, this shit's broken. Hey, Johnny over there at EA, I'm gonna send you a DM and let you know what's broken. It's like, dog, like we don't work for you. We're playing a video game, and you put something in the video game that's fucked up. It's so unbelievably unrealistic to think that we're gonna see that and be like the Good Samaritan and be not even Good Samaritan necessarily, but we're gonna have to contemplate in our heads, did they mean for this to happen, or is this wrong? Like, and that's such it's an edge that you have to teeter on. That it's impossible. It's not hard. It's literally impossible. You won't be able to play an Ultimate Team style game because there is fucking rerolls that are in the game. That's there.
Right.
But if they fuck up, then how are we supposed to know if they mean for that to happen or they don't mean for that to happen? So I think that is the number one problem, is that it all boils down to communication. We don't know what the real issue is behind it. Why these people are getting banned, why this, that, and the third. I will say the game's not even officially out yet, so I'm not going to sit here
Eric,
how about this?
Eric's having... Okay.
How about this as a point, though? Also, us as like grown-ass men that are creators and we know right and wrong, and we've been playing video games for 20, 30 years and stuff like that, we know the different stuff. And we're like, oh, this is a loophole. We're going to do this and take advantage of this, and this is what we're doing. What about the 13-year-old kid or the 12-year-old kid, you know, that jumped on Madden and had no idea and was like, oh, yo, this is training, and like doesn't even realize that he's like doing a loophole. He's just playing the game. Like he didn't, like he just got some training?
Somebody, they've said they did it a couple times. They downgraded Tom Brady. And like they did it like 3 times, and then they stopped doing it. They bought a bundle, and then they took all their training away. EA's literally robbing people of money. Rayweather, I know you're having internet issues, but what do you think about that? Like people walking on eggshells, not knowing when we're going to get banned. What's okay? What's not okay? Are methods okay? Like in MUT, I know you're more of like a general gameplay and not as much into MUT, but what do you think about EA's kind of like action so far?
Yeah, really quickly, if my internet drops, it's going crazy in my neighborhood right now. It's been doing this for days. But anyway, I don't know. I've been loosely paying attention because I've been busy, but I know I saw they had bans and there was like there's a training method and they like patched it really quickly, but people were getting trained. I don't know. I don't feel like people should ever be banned for that because it's not people's fault, right? Like, because I briefly heard the end of what y'all were just saying. Like, how does like the guy that's not that in tune with MUT even know better? Like, what if he just stumbled on, I mean, probably wouldn't stumble on it, but what if, right? And he was just getting training. He's like, look at this. This is a good way to get training. Like, how would he know? How would it be his fault? I don't know. I feel like if you make a mistake as a company, you just take the L. Like, and it wasn't even like, from my understanding, it wasn't even like a huge like thing, like, because you couldn't get that much training out of it, right? Like, it took a while, and I mean, you weren't gonna like come up on like 100K worth of training in like an hour or something. So like, you just take the L on that, I think. But I heard y'all talking about competitors and stuff too, and I think the big inconsistency with that is like they do ban some competitors, but then they don't ban other ones. So like, there's no precedent, there's no like rule or bar that's like set. It's kind of like, it feels like they just whatever they feel like doing on that day. They just pick names out of a hat, and it's like, all right, these guys are banned. Like, I don't know. It's like either everybody gets banned or no one gets banned, but it's like it feels very selective when you just pay attention to like what everybody, like who comes forward saying they were banned, and then other people that we clearly know have done stuff and they're not getting banned.
Sorry, keep going.
No, that was it. But I mean, at the end of the day, if it's their fault, I feel like you should just take the L on that. I mean, and especially with EA with as many faults and hiccups as they have, it's like that's on y'all. Like, this is something y'all are known for. Like, so if y'all can't take better care or like test certain things better, like, why is that anybody else's fault for taking advantage of it? You know, how is it any different than, like, obviously there's more money tied to MUT, but how is it any different from taking advantage of anything else that's broken in the game to like change your gaming experience? You know what I mean? Like, it's something that you didn't address, and now we're using it.
All the glitches and all of the freaking things that they've done wrong, you know, miscoding different cards, limiteds popping out of stuff, redoing sets and just getting unlimited Randy Mosses and shit. Like, bro, they've done so many things that have been so wrong that is literally just part of how we've operated as a community and how they've operated as a company. Be like, oh, they broke something, we do this. And it's literally been for 10 years. It's not like we did it once. It's literally been it's 10 years that this stuff has been happening. And now all of a sudden, they're like, oh, we got a new security team. They're really fucking strict. But like, bro, do they have any fucking clue about anything? Like what we do, what happened, precedents, anything? And there's no precedents, like nothing at all.
Yeah, it makes no sense. Their messaging too. It's like, keep things fair. Like, people did not get anything more than I could have got by buying a bundle, right? They're basically saying their game's unfair. I mean, Madden has always been unfair. Why is all of a sudden now you're taking a stand? Through all their fuck ups like you talked about, why is it this time? Why is it 22? Are they turning over a new leaf of new assholeness? Have they taken it to a new level? It makes no fucking sense to me why we're doing this now, because they can get away with it more now, or are they not afraid of the community because they're not like communicating with it anymore? Are they gonna start cutting GMN more than they already have? Like, is tomorrow gonna be insane in that stream? Are they gonna start banning and timing out words? I don't know, Mike.
So I'm gonna play the opposite side, and I'm not an EA simp, right? I have a coin sponsor, blah blah blah. I'm not an EA simp. I just want to very much say that right now, okay? But
okay. You're playing devil's advocate.
Yeah, I'm playing devil's advocate.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm playing devil's advocate, right? So the only thing that I can think of, which again, this is not necessarily, I don't necessarily agree with this, but this is something that I thought of. The game is not even out yet, right? The game releases tonight at 11 o'clock globally. That's when you can go into a GameStop and buy the game. People still do that. So my only thought process is there is your chat is hilarious. There is no I love them. There's no reroll sets in the store right now, which means there's really no way to make coins on your training. I could be completely wrong with that, but I know there's no reroll sets and whatnot.
Yeah.
So my thought process is they might have seen a solid amount of people make a fuck ton of training, hold on to that training, and then once this new superstar promo drops, there could be, a fantasy pack or something to that magnitude. And they want to make sure that those people don't fuck up the market so bad because they have excess amount of training that was literally not possible, for people to get if they weren't awake at 2 a.m. But I get that because, that's if you stay awake, you get more opportunities. But the game's not even out yet. And there's no real way to get the training flowing on the market. So my only thought is, if you know what? I mean, there's really no point in even making this point.
Well, are y'all okay? So
it's a dumb fucking point.
Did they ban everybody, or did they just take it away?
Yeah, they didn't ban anyone. That's the thing. Is they just took the training away. They just took the training away.
They didn't even take.
No. They didn't take the training away.
I thought they were getting banned too, though. On top of it,
they didn't take the right training though.
They took it all, right?
Yeah, but like not even the glitch training. Most of the people that were up at 2 a.m. in all part of those big discords and stuff like that were all finding out. They all powered up their players. They all added abilities to all their shit. They got their team ready. Most of them are comp guys, and they got all their shit ready. So this weekend, when we start seeing these teams, they were like, bro, how do they have all their cars powered up? That's how. And they wiped their account, but they didn't take credit from them because they already used it all.
Yeah, and that was not even necessarily my opinion. I was just looking at it from from their perspective, trying to give some sense of rhyme and reason as to why they would do something like this when it's never happened before. And like I said, the only way I can think of it, and again, if I'm just trying to think positively, maybe this won't happen once the game is officially out and it's kind of like no holds barred, like anyone can do anything when it comes to loopholes and whatnot. But because the game wasn't out yet, and it could affect the market negatively to a point where it would be really hard for people to do stuff when the game does officially come out. Potentially, that might be why they did it. That's the only thought process that I have from that. I'm trying to think positively.
It makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
What about Eric's point and everybody else's point about them, like the people that don't really play the game much, right? They did the upgraded Tom Brady, decided he hated him, unupgraded him, right? Downgraded him, and all of a sudden they lose all their training. They wake up and they have no training left because they took advantage of the Super Bowl. Somebody said to me they did it 3 times and then they bought a bundle because they decided it wasn't worth it for the time, and then EA took all their training away. So EA stole money. So they stole money from that guy. Then EA lost because this training shit's all made up, right? This shit's nat. This shit ain't gonna do anything except for make you buy fewer bundles potentially. That's this economic impact of training being out of the game is so minimal. It's insane, right? The people that got training, I could get the same amount with $100, right? It changes almost nothing. When we have bots going wild and head-to-head seasons, we have all this insane shit going on and different things, and the economics through that is screwed up more than people getting training for a little bit and then having everything wiped, right? Imagine little Timmy, right? I know Toke's in chat, his little Timmy movement. Imagine getting all your shit taken from you because you don't pay attention and you did it anyways. I don't know.
100%.
What do you think?
That's what I'm saying. Like most of those little kids aren't even going to know. Like there could have been a kid that like upgraded the Patrick Mahomes and then was like, no, I don't want this anymore, just downgraded it. He got extra training. Imagine doing it one time. You didn't even notice the 20 training and then you just lost everything.
Yeah, it's crazy. And then somebody asked about it. I saw this. I don't know if you can take a look at the stream right now. EA responded to him. They talked about the training. I use a training loophole a very small amount of times. EA took 4 to 5 times the amount of training back out of my account. At least 5K training was taken. Is there anything anyone can do about this? Lada. I don't have any control over bans. I'll just pass the gamer tag along. And then EA said, don't cheat. Don't cheat was the response to the guy getting his training taken away 4 to 5 times much.
I mean, talk about just kick him in the balls.
That's a real response?
Bro, that's a real response.
Yeah.
Bro, you're talking about someone just needs to get the shit just slapped out of him.
Who the fuck is running that account? No way that they just responded, don't cheat.
You're talking about the EA Help account?
Yeah.
That can't be whoever runs those accounts, it can't be I'm trying to think of the right way to say this, but it can't
We
be
all
a
know what
person
you're going
that-
to say.
They can't actually understand anything that's going
There's
on.
a
They just
communication
can't.
barrier.
Yeah, because their responses just don't even make any sense. Even it doesn't matter what the company is. Nobody in the help department, customer service. I don't care what company you talk to, right? If they understand what's going on, they're gonna always sympathize with you, even though you don't want to hear that either because it's not making you feel better. But the responses the EA account gives, it just doesn't make any sense. Nobody would respond that way. So there has to be a language barrier issue with whoever the heck they have outsourcing that stuff, because it just I saw another one the other day. I can't remember it off the top of my head now, but the response was just so ridiculous. I think the dude asked him are y'all literally scamming me because something wasn't working right? And the response was yes, and then gave an answer after that. Nobody would say that. So there has to be I don't know. They need to get better people to run that account because it's the most useless customer service I've ever seen.
Idiots everywhere. Idiots, incompetent people at every position in every department, all across the board. From the fucking top all the way down to the fucking help desk in fucking whatever third world country they operate in.
Them dudes don't have. They don't even know what football is. Whoever's running that account, like they like.
I also
would
refuse
never.
to believe. I refuse to believe someone's real name is David Smith. They're like, "Hi, I'm David Smith. How can I help you today?" And I'm like, "That can't be your real name."
It isn't. But like, I don't know. Like what? So, what do you think? Like, why doesn't EA like listen to us anymore? It feels like it's just like an overarching thing of 22 with like draft champion rewards getting nerfed, salary cap rewards getting nerfed. Like, and then they come after this. So like, does EA just not want us? Are they targeting no money spent people and saying, hey, fuck you? Like basically, like for the entire year last year, we said how much we had physical chems because it ends the game early. And then they put physical chems onto a more expensive physical chem system. Like, why does it feel like we're right when we say they don't like us playing their game and earning money? Why does it? Is there something changed at EA to your knowledge, Eric? That like, why has there been turnover? Like, why are they squeezing no money spent so hard?
I wouldn't have a clue. I mean, I haven't even. I mean, ever since COVID, I haven't seen any of those people. I haven't been down there. Only from time to time, talk to a couple of them in Discord, which is usually just Gabby, honestly, because that's usually just for like anything that could be related to like getting early capture of like gameplay. But that's literally it. I don't even talk to them outside of that. So I don't even know who's there. I don't know who's gotten hired, who's left. Well, I know JP left just because he said it on Twitter, but he didn't even. Yeah. Well, he did work on Ultimate Team a little bit, I think. But either way, I mean, I don't know. It feels like most of the same people are in place from the outside looking in. But
last year, a lot of people left. Everywhere from communications to devs to everything. Like, there was a lot of people, like, internally that just said, fuck this place, and left. I got DMs from big,
like, I know the
main people. Yeah,
the main guys are still there. I mean, I just don't know.
The biggest quote that I got, the biggest quote that I got from someone that left EA that was huge there was they don't care about building a game anymore. All they care about is building a lifestyle brand. He's like, I left.
Wow. Oh, I could believe that just by the moves they make. I could 1,000,000% believe that. I mean, you could just see in how they market now.
Yep.
It seems more of like branding play than like it seems like. It kind of seems like they're trying to sell everything around the game more than the game itself at times, if that makes sense.
The most important thing to them is the brand to NFL. If they can sell the brand to the NFL, they don't give a fuck about anything else. Like, that's it. That's it.
And I don't know that it's necessarily like when I said that I think the same people are there, I meant like the main people, like Kralo's still there, Clint's there, Jake's still there. Like, you know, the main people for each, I guess, department. It seems like all of those people are still there. And it's like, I don't know, like, it's always hard to tell because I think a lot of us have always gotten the impression like those people are the ones that like, they care. But it's like, how much control do they have over the fourth in the game? Because, like, I don't think devs care. I don't think the devs care about branding, you know, care about making you a thing. So it's got people like marketing departments or whoever does that stuff. But if you're working on you align with or you lead other people have done.
No,
I think,
Eric, you get like you get 100,000 views per video and you still don't have an internet, huh? Where are you living?
No, it's my neighbor. All right, this is the so like I like best neighborhoods in my city, but this neighborhood, the internet provider, like they just suck in this neighborhood, and the only alternative is like internet that's much slower because we don't have like a fiber run back here yet for some reason. So it's like either I get slower speeds or I get internet that just consistently drops all the time, and it's like I'm almost considering switching to the slower speed just because I think it might be more consistent, but it's just awful. Ever since I've moved here, it's been an issue.
You got to do the Michael Scott method. Just have them both and get one as a backup.
Right.
I honestly, honestly wouldn't be a bad idea.
Eric, you've been in the offices before. You've seen stuff. I mean, stuff.
Is Scomo's mic messing up now too?
Yeah.
Like,
we're losing. Scomo, we're losing you. Are you in a tunnel? Scomo?
Dude, how is my internet the only one that's holding up?
C3PO here.
In Discord.
You guys are the auto tune's going crazy right now. You guys are spitting.
All right.
Nah,
Okay,
but,
okay,
but
okay.
at least he's on the road. Like mine has no excuse to be this bad. It's just ridiculous. Like they just can't. Like whatever tower services this area is just not. It doesn't work right, and they won't fix it. Like they just keep trying to patch it. They're like EA. They just keep like band-aiding it instead of actually like rebuilding a new tower that works. Like that's like the tower that services my neighborhood is EA. Like dead ass.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
No, but
They're
like I was,
DDoSing us to keep us quiet.
what I was saying is the problem. Like it's always been the biggest problem is they are the there's never been a company that's more micromanaged than EA. When I went there for one trip and I saw like how micromanaged they developed the game to how micromanaged they handle communications and everything. Like it's literally like you do passes, but I need to dribble and figure out how the dribble is going to be before I do pass. No, you just do passing. You do dribbling. You're on this. You do that and nothing else. He's like, well, I need to go talk to that guy to figure out how to do my plan. They're like, no, you can't go talk to that guy to figure out how to do your plan. You just do your plan. And like that's the thing. Anytime you get a company that's so micromanaged with departments going against each other, departments having different goals against each other, you're never going to have a seamless company because they all hate each other and they all literally want different shit.
I think every company in corporate America is pretty micromanaged to a point.
Yeah, I would
Not
say
as
so,
much as
too.
this. Not as
No,
much as
no,
EA.
no. That's not true at all.
I feel like micromanagement is just like I'm even at like the ground level. On every job I've ever worked at, it was always like extremely micromanaged, and I'm like, this is counterproductive. Just like let me do my thing.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
you know,
Not at the corporate level. It depends really on the company and the company culture. But like, that's definitely not typical micromanaging that level. At certain things, at like communications, I 100% see that being a micromanaged spot. But like from game dev point, that seems a little strange.
And that's how they do it. That's literally how they do it. I remember going over there and literally seeing when they put NBA Live back in and they separated all their freaking pods. And it was like, these guys are just working on passing. These guys are just working on dribbling. And they're like, and then you like go out to dinner with them and they're like, how's the development? He's like, bro, it's kind of hard working on passing when I don't know what they're doing with dribbling. I'm like, oh my God.
That's so weird.
Yeah.
see, I've never actually even seen it on that level, so I don't know. I've never like actually seen what people were working on anytime I've been there. It's always just been like in a room, kind of like here, either testing this out or when we used to go to get capture, it's like here you got 2 days record footage. Like it's never been like, oh, let's go look at.
Bro, they used
like,
to show us so much stuff. They used to Billy used to like bring us to his office and like sit us down at his desk and be like, make a card, show us what you can do. Like, bro, they would show us everything.
Yeah. I've never seen anything like that. I ain't got that treatment.
Like it's just.
But it probably used to be. It probably used to be more like chill and laid back. Though,
It was.
Sure.
It was. You just go there and hang out with everyone. That's why like I'm friends with the older guys because it was like a friendship. It was go there, hang out, go out drinking, relax, talk about Madden, and have fun. Like that's where the good relationships came from. And now it's just all bullshit.
So do you think the community is slightly at fault for being a little bit more bullshit for how angry we've been at them? Or do you think it's basically because we're reacting to EA and how they've doing? Because like community's been angry at some of the things EA's done forever, for as long as I've been playing Ultimate Team. And it really is almost as long since the mid 2000s of Madden. Since like, they massacred franchise for 06 on the next gen and so forth. So like, why do you think EA is like retreating and not talking to us as much?
No idea. It's like they literally want to have nothing to do with the community. And I mean, it's a company as large as EA that makes as much money in EA, right? It's even though we are adults and we're men, the community is the kids. The billion-dollar company is the adult. The billion-dollar company should put the foot forward every time and say, what can we do to improve the relationship? What can we do to improve our community? What can we do to improve the game? We understand you guys are mad. We understand you guys are flipping out. We don't like you flipping out. We need you to calm down. But we are the billion-dollar company. What can we do? Let me put my foot forward to figure out what we can do. They are petty little fucking bitches. Like a chick in high school that's mad at another dude that like broke up with her and now is dating her girlfriend, her best friend. And like that's the way EA treats us. Is like we broke up with them and we're now dating their best friend.
We're playing MLB.
Yeah.
So they're angry at us.
Yeah. Rather than
We're
putting
not
a foot
suction-
forward and fixing everything, they just literally make it worse every time.
Yeah, I feel ya. Mike, what do you feel like that? Are we not good enough? Is it like parents abandoning us? Like, are we not cool because they want to go to the lifestyle? Like that Scomo said, we're just loser mutt players, and we're below EA now.
I don't know, dude. I feel like over the years, I've been beaten down by EA for so long, for so many years about just the bullshit that's happened. I literally went from like the kid who joined this community and was like, "Don't worry, EA's gonna fix this. The packs, they're gonna be less expensive. We're gonna get better players." To like the years progress and progress and progress to a point where I was like mad and then I was upset, and now I'm to the point where it's like I really just sit back in my chair and just kind of just like let everything unfold and just look at it like I'm Thanos. Like I just kind of sit back and just like, this is it. This is what we have. Like there's no real use in complaining, at least for me personally, because I feel like it's just indifference. Someone said that in the chat. It's like it's just it kind of is how it is. Like people complain, EA doesn't like that. So then EA tries to get new people to play their game, which then makes the people who currently play their game feel like they're being neglected, and it's an ongoing cycle. And I just don't, it's not to say that I don't care anymore when the bullshit happens, but it's just kind of like I'm just sitting there like anyone knows the LeBron gif where he's just sitting there like on the playoff table and he's just kind of put his hands up in the air like, "Yep, this is what's going to happen. This is it. This is what they do." You know? So
is that one of the reasons why you wanted to become a lawyer 6 months ago?
Oh god.
Because you're just over it?
I mean, I've always had pretty much my entire family is lawyers, and that was the plan when I was graduated college, and then I just decided to do YouTube. You know, just great career path, great career choice. Decided to graduate college and take all the money that I spent and use that degree to make Madden YouTube videos, and then pass up on becoming a lawyer so that I could play Madden a little bit more. It was a great career path. No, but it's just I'm just here to play the game, and whatever happens. When you take it less seriously, it's more fun. Like obviously you have to take it seriously to a point where this is our job. We have to make good content, but at the end of the day, like this is the game that we have. I don't take it as seriously. Obviously I'm gonna be upset if some bullshit happens, because as anybody would, but I just kind of, it's just like, it is what it is. It's whatever. Like,
so like you're basically saying don't try, this is the way things are. Like,
100%.
That's awful advice.
But that's the way
I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. That's
great
it's
advice.
worked for
That's
me.
literally great advice. That's great advice. It really is. It really is. It really is. The more you literally don't give a fuck, the happier you will be.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, yeah, that's probably the way I put. Just don't like care, obviously, because you're playing a game that you have fun, but just stop giving a fuck. Like they're gonna do shit to you regardless of what you type on Twitter. You could go down to fucking Florida, knock on their front door, and it's just nothing's really gonna change. They're they're with the shits. Like they don't care. They just do whatever they want, and this is the game that we play.
Yeah, but not caring is an awful idea, because like if they get away with this stuff, then they're gonna keep going, right? It isn't until we start saying, "Hey, fuck you," right? Franchise for 15 years got absolutely boned over. Okay, and then they put together the hashtag. It finally got to a point they boiled over, put it together, and now EA responded to their care and outrage and community saying these things. And if we got these defeatist ass attitudes in the MUT community saying don't care, your life's gonna be better, I mean, how do we not expect to keep getting fucked over and treating just like wallets instead of actual people that want to play a game?
Well, I mean, I went no money spent, so they're not taking my money. That was one big reason why I did that, is because I was like,
well, taking more of your time then. Time is money, and no money spent is now adding even more time into the game because the grind got worse.
I mean,
they're taking your time.
I mean, I could go into the specifics, but that doesn't really For me, that's not true because
I mean,
I
if
went
you
no money
enjoy
spent.
grinding, then I guess
I
it
enjoy
doesn't
grinding,
matter.
and the no
Yeah.
money spent, it was as a good idea for me. And
That's like
for
your main
my
content
career
now
path.
too. So it's
Yeah.
Well,
just like
what's our
either
hashtag
way.
then, Fox? What's our hashtag? Let's get it.
Well, like,
Hashtag
okay,
who cares?
hashtag keep
So
it fair.
okay, could y'all
right?
explain
Okay,
something to me because
go on, Eric.
I'm probably the only person here that doesn't play MLB The Show, and I always hear like that they have the best, I guess, Ultimate Team type mode, but you get like super high overall cards early in the year, or like you get low overall cards, but they upgrade all year. Like how does it work over there in comparison to
Both.
Madden? That's better because I just don't know, and I'm just
I mean,
curious,
nothing's
honestly.
perfect, but like they just have done a good job at like making it to where you don't have to spend. I mean, if you play the game more and you invest and like you have your ear to the community and stuff like that, like you can literally have every card in the game, 99 overalls for free. They'll drop a program that, could take 1 hour to complete and get like a new monthly award or something like that, best card, new card or something like that. MLB is definitely not perfect, but they have definitely taken and said, hey, if we want to grow our community and grow our game, why don't we make it easier to play, easier to obtain stuff, and, put fun stuff in the game at the beginning of the game when people want to play, not in, 6 months later, when other games are out. They took it, they looked at their market, looked at their timing, looked at people, what they want, and gave them everything. They said, you want better cards, faster and easier? Here you go.
Yeah,
Does it
that's
not,
Also, if you
does
pay-
it not hurt
if
the
you pay
mode
attention-
having good players early though? Like I'm just asking because I don't know. Does it not like make
Yeah, well-
people, I guess, get tired of it quicker if they already have like great teams early on, or not necessarily?
A little bit, but
It-
MLB does a good job, I feel like, with events and like BR and different modes to be able to like build different teams and still once again go after different rewards with different team builds and that kind of stuff. But yeah, there's definitely times when you're like, I've had the same left fielder for 6 months, and I mean, yeah, that happens.
And MLB also rewards you for paying attention to the MLB season and how players are doing, because their live series cards will go up and down. And if
Yep.
they go up to 85 or 80 overall, they'll go up to new quick sell value. So you can invest and make a lot of money that way. No money spent too. So
Yep.
it rewards you not only paying attention to the in-game grind, but the out of game grind and how players are doing IRL. So
Uh-huh.
it's just amazing for players that way.
And with MLB,
For no money
is
spent.
this also true to where like just because you have the best team doesn't necessarily mean that you can like easily beat better players? Where like I know in Madden, if you got like the best team in the game, the way Madden plays, like most games, even with good players, will still be kind of sweaty. But in MLB, if you're like clearly not as skilled at the game as someone else and you have a better team, you don't
Yeah.
win as often. Is that like
The
accurate?
top guys can load up all gold lineups and still do pretty good, yes.
Whereas like
They
a
can- they
top
can-
guy
they can
in
beat
Madden
anybody,
load
yeah.
up all golds, and like if you play an average person with like the best team, they still ain't gonna really have a chance because
They'll
their
just run
players are just
streaks
gonna be
past them,
outmatched.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's just
Yeah,
more CPU
yeah.
like shit going on in Madden though. That's why.
Right.
That's what I
Well,
was
yeah,
saying.
yeah, that's
That's just how the
because you can
game
only
works.
in MLB your user input's controlling way more than it is in Madden because you can only control one guy. I mean, you only control one guy at a time in either game, but like with Madden, it's just constantly like every player on the field's constantly moving.
Right.
Yeah.
With MLB, you're controlling the guy that you need to be controlling, where the
It's like a
ball is.
one-on-one.
Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that's just football versus.
But see,
baseball
the-
games.
so-
Like, that's
like-
just how it's gonna be.
Oh, yeah.
The past couple years for Madden, though, it was definitely noticeably easier to be no money spent, though, right? I've never really done it, but it seemed like it was like the reward you got if you like if you grinded like early, you could get enough stuff, and then if you played enough weekend league, you had enough stuff coming in to just constantly have coins, right? But now this year, it's like all the rewards seem to have gone like way
Around
down.
December, January
and
time,
stuff.
no money spent. People had millions and millions and millions of coins last year.
Yeah. What
Right,
I will
which is
say is
good.
20 and 21 were like 20 and 21 were really, really easy to be no money spent. Like it was not even like you obviously had to grind a little bit because every promo had like a solo string that you used to get a free player or whatnot. But it was really not that hard. What I will say to give props to MLB, because I think MLB The Show, I think their Dime Dicey mode is like incredible. I think it's like, I mean, I'm not in the minority here by saying it's probably the best Ultimate Team mode out there, right? Like it's a really, really good Ultimate Team mode. I suck ass at MLB, and also I'm not the biggest baseball fan, but I hopped on there like being pretty terrible, like not really knowing what I was doing, and I was able to do I might be wrong with the terminology here, but there was like one of the first programs where I think I can't remember his name. It was like a center fielder, really crazy. Byron Buxton. I got a Byron Buxton with like a really, really good team. And
player of the month. Yep.
And it wasn't, the thing is, the difference in to do, because you can get a good team in Madden, no money spent, and MLB, no money spent. Like it's very possible both ways. But in MLB, it's like, it's truly not hard. Like you don't have to play online. You don't really have to grind. I mean, you have to grind a little bit, but like you really don't have to do it nearly as much as you do in Madden. In Madden, when you did no money spent, it was like you should be playing
kicking
weekend
field
league
goals
every weekend. You need to be getting at the very minimum, even with a dog shit team, you need 15 wins to continue to get a couple 100K every single week.
Yeah.
It's Madden it's possible for no money spent. This year is definitely kind of wild, but in MLB it really is so easy, and it's not like I don't know, it doesn't feel like a toll, like a grind, as in like I'm fucking kicking field goals for 15 hours to get the best card in the game.
Dude, playing solos and playing the computer in MLB is actually like, it's good practice. You can practice.
It's a challenge.
It's
solos
so
in
playing the
Madden
computer in
is
MLB
not a good time.
Is so much more enjoyable than playing the computer in Madden. It's not even close.
I was thinking of this the other day when I was like trying to grind levels just a little bit, and I'm just like I feel like there's definitely a better way to like approach solos to at least make them somewhat interesting. Like they're just like lately they've just been miserable. Like full game solos is like, I feel like the only time that should be a thing is it should be like an optional thing, because I'm sure there are people that play Ultimate Team that just like team building and they don't want to play online because they're not good. So like full game, so I've seen people say that. So like for them, yeah, full game solos are cool, but it should be like an optional thing. Like anybody else playing solos is just trying to grind their team, but playing full games is like a miserable experience because you're just going down running clock. Like at least with moments and stuff like that, those aren't that bad because you can play more of those, but you're constantly moving through new ones, so it feels like something new. But like if it just feels like every year the solos get like more and more miserable to play. I just feel like there's a better way. I don't necessarily have the answer, but like there has to be a better way to approach
crazy.
it.
I hate
the Gridiron Forge was fucking nuts.
Yeah,
I
like
did it on
I
next
stopped
gen
playing
and
them.
current
Like,
gen, and it
like
is great. It
I
was
stopped playing them.
wild.
Yeah. I hate that you can't like lab. I hate that you have to go like back out of MUT and go into like regular exhibition practice mode. Like playing solos should be my MUT practice. I should be able to be like, hey, I'm going to lab this offense to like see how it does. Obviously, there's not a user on the field, but I would like it to play the same like I'm about to go play a head-to-head game and be able to be like, okay, let's check out this new guy that I just picked up. You know, let's see him. Oh, he looks really good in the solos. Okay, he ran this route really good. Now let's go to head-to-head. Like, no, anytime you jump into a solo, it's like, okay, how can I glitch the solo? Okay, I'm letting the computer score. All right, I'm putting back up to them. All right, mid-blitz. All right, I'm streaking this. Okay, I'm catching the ball and laying down. Like, bro, it's just the stupidest shit ever.
I also feel like that's kind of stinks because that's just the difference between Madden and MLB. Madden is it's like a chess match. It's like I don't want to say it's purely knowledge, but I mean, it's majority a knowledge-based game. It's how you can outthink your opponent. And so when you play against a computer, I don't think there's ever really a scenario where it will be hard to beat a computer. Like in a game where you have to outthink them. Like you can recognize the coverage and do easy shit. Whereas in MLB, it's like a reaction, and like to any of my guys who play shooters out there, it's like you're playing Kovacs with an analog stick. It actually is something that you can replicate towards an in-game experience. So like for me, I think MLB solos will always be more, I guess, applicable because it's just more of the actual experience in a real game. Whereas solos is just, I mean, you're just trying to outthink the computer at the end of the day, and it's just not that hard to do that.
Like if you're a new player on MLB and they're like, hey, I just got the game, what should I do? I'm like, load up Team Affinity, grind showdown, do this stuff because it's going to get you used to playing the game, used to pitching, used to hitting, used to all this kind of stuff. And you're like, play the game, play the game, play the game. If someone's never played Madden before and you're like, start off playing the Forge and then jump into head-to-head. like they would be so lost on how to play head to head from playing the Forge.
Yeah, completely. It's the Forge is literally from the depths of hell. I don't even know who thought that was a good idea to, like, bro, if they would have made the Forge at what it was, but instead of giving us JC Jackson, they gave us the Devin Hester or the George Kittle, I would have probably been like, okay, I'm cool with that. Like, I get that it is as hard as it is, especially for like a lot of the no money spent dudes out there. Like, you're doing this against like with silvers and golds, maybe a couple elites with no ability. Like, getting a sack on I swear to God, I think I played that solo challenge for like an hour, maybe even an hour and a half. It's just so rare that because your guys are slow as shit. It's just, I mean, I don't know.
So, Mike, I got a question. After saying all that, talking about MLB, do you still super enjoy the nobody spent grind on Madden? You think that it's fine the way they do it? Like this whole, we're talking about the comparisons here, but like the biggest thing that we want to talk about, like, does EA care about players? Like, because it doesn't feel that way. Like, right? Like, you said you enjoy the grind, but like you say you enjoy the grind at MLB more. Like, why do you still not care? It's your profession. It's what you do. It's what you spend your time on. Wouldn't you get like better views if more people liked it, if more people enjoyed the grind instead of just kicking a field goal? People in chat talk about falling asleep doing solos on Madden because it's the same thing over and over again. Like, it's just awful in my opinion how EA's treating us with this grind.
So I have two thoughts on that. One, my job is not to care about the game. My job is to take whatever I play and make it entertaining. So EA could give me the most dog shit game of all time, but my goal is to, when I put out a video or whatever it is, to make that video fun and to make it seem exciting. And if the experience is boring and you're like, fuck it, I don't really want to play anymore, maybe you watch my video and you can have enjoyment through that video as opposed to actually playing the game, because I make it look potentially more fun than it actually is, than playing a solo challenge for X amount of time.
Yeah, but here's the thing. The same thing could have been said by Madden mobile creators in like 16, 17. And then it got to a point where like, oh yeah, it's doing whatever. It got to a point where people just stopped downloading it. They stopped playing it. Madden mobile creators had to come over to Madden console. Right? So it's not like these things like people are gonna watch you if you're putting out content, even though you make it fun on a shit game.
Right.
If they're not gonna watch that, right? What are our watch time, our hours looking like? And Rayweather, don't answer this because this is your hot season. But what do they look like during May, June, July, before the game comes out, right? What did the views look like after the season ended and you were contemplating becoming a lawyer, right? It's not the same thing. If people aren't playing the game because the game sucks, and EA's not listening to us and not hearing the feedback, and it keeps sliding down that fucking hill of shit, then what's going to happen to your channel? Like, no matter how fun you make something look like, people aren't going to want to get waterboarded, okay?
You're right. You're right.
What I would say to that is maybe you're just more mentally strong than I am, but living life, going through, having every single year, setting myself up to be disappointed and upset and pissed off at how dog shit a game or a mode is, knowing that that's going to happen every year and thinking that I'm going to be able to change it is like, it's like my hell loop. Like, that sounds miserable. And it was miserable for me for a long time. And I think that's how a lot of other people are. It's like you're setting yourself up to be pissed off. And at the end of the day, just for my mental health, it's like, it's better for me if I just don't care that much. I get that if the game becomes dog shit, people will stop watching, and it is what it is. If that's what happens, that's what happens. You know, it is what it is. I have really no response to that other than if EA makes the game terrible and everyone stops watching, then I'll have to find a way to pivot and change, and a lot of other people will, and that's just kind of what's going to happen. But one thing I will say about the no money spent, I'm not giving my opinion on how No Money Spent is this year, like right now, because one, the game isn't out yet, and we don't have any promos, and we don't know how the XP is going to work for those specific promos. So what I'm thinking, and again, this is just like probably dumb optimism, right? I'm literally preaching about not caring, but meanwhile,
I was talking about this morning. Yeah, is the wait. Yeah,
they could very, very easily have objectives that are easy to do. You know, win 5 games with a new promo player in your lineup, get 10,000 XP.
That's MLB stuff. That's MLB
Yeah,
stuff.
they could very easily do that and then make leveling up substantially easier. And then the other thing I will say is a lot of the best cards in the game right now, the Kittle, best tight end in the game, Hester, best wide receiver in the game, Jamar Chase, probably second best or even best wide receiver in the game. Those are all free. Like I get that it's hard to get those, but you don't have to spend literally $1 to get all of those cards, and they're all the best in the game. So I'm all for understanding that EA fucks with the no money spent people 100%, and it is very difficult to level up this year 100%. But that's not to say that we're not getting good free shit. Like, we're getting the best cards in the game are free. And it's going to happen every single season.
That's something I've been thinking about. Like, I mean, like I wonder that too. Like, I mean, we don't know obviously, but it's like the game isn't even out yet, so it's like, who really knows like how the season's gonna play out? Because we've had years where MUT started awful and then it got amazing, and then we've had the opposite where it started amazing and then got awful and just died in like February and March. It's just like hard to know where they're like even going with it yet, because we haven't even gotten anything really yet. So
people,
I don't think, but you can't give them credit for
last
something
year.
that, you know, you can't give them credit for something they haven't done yet. As of right now, today, the conversation, like, yeah, it like the grinding and stuff is a pain in the ass right now. Like they've taken away. All we see so far is they've taken away a lot of the rewards. They've made it harder to grind levels. And like that's really all we have to go off of now. But who knows what's
the thing? You know how that you know the very simple solution to this. Sorry to talk over you.
Communicate.
One thing, and what's that?
Communicate.
Yes. How fucking hard would that be for them to come out and say, "Hey, all right, we're lowering their rewards here. Sorry, draft champions, you won't get as many coins for entry. But guess what? If you win so many games in the mode, we'll give you a card." Okay, like the communication of these things that are coming on their way is such an easy, simple thing to do that it blows my mind. They literally have people dedicated to it. Like, why do they keep Kralo in a cage? I don't understand. He doesn't need to be in a cage, but that's what they do. Why don't they let him communicate? Why is this not out there? Are they redlining again? Is this like, are they just figuring it out as they go, right? Is that why we didn't get a MUT database until the game went live? They just didn't have the cards done? It just seems so simple to me that a lot of the community concerns, and maybe you're right. Maybe they'll absolutely blow our backs out with the superstar, with the legends, and then maybe packs will be great when they come out. That could all happen. And that would be great for us as players. But the fact that right now we're freaking out because, you know, they seem so cheap. They've seen so miserably. They've squeezed the penny so fucking hard this year, and they haven't said, you know, what's the payoff, right?
Yeah,
like, if you're going to give me cock and ball torture, tell me you're also going to do nipple play, all right? Go on, sorry.
The one thing that I would say is, if everyone remembers, last year I went full nuclear at the beginning of the year and did a rant video and everything, basically calling
I do remember that.
and all that kind of stuff. Because they started off the year and it was like 3 weeks of nothing, right? And now when we look back at it, we're like, holy shit, that was kind of like the best content year we've ever had. And like,
but it didn't start until after that, though. You're right. It took a while.
It took a long while. So like, that's why I'm kind of like what Mike said, a little bit. The issues that we have, you gotta, once again, pick your battles and which ones to worry about. Not that no money spent and what we can grind and what we can do isn't a concern, and to say keep in the back of your mind and keep an eye on it, but there's other issues that are more important right now that are obviously not getting fixed, rather than, hey, they could tomorrow drop all this free stuff, extra ways to get XP, complete this challenge, get this XP, get this free card, get this stuff. Could be stuff on Saturday, could be stuff next Monday, could be stuff next Wednesday, and then we're sitting here next weekend, but just like, holy shit, and you know, you got all this content now for your no money spent series or something like that. So like, don't know yet. Wouldn't
it be great? Like, MLB The Show updates their schedule of stuff that's coming out. Why don't we see that in Madden? Like,
I've wanted that forever.
We had it last year for a while, and then they got rid of it.
I've wanted that forever. Like, there is a content schedule. Like, bro, like they have the content schedules. Like, you don't have to give us the players and like MLB doesn't tell us the players. They're just like, hey, in 10 days, more content's coming. Sometimes it literally just says that, more content. And like, it just says the date. Like, we could be just as happy with that. Like if we just know like, hey, we're getting stuff Friday, we're getting stuff Saturday, we're getting stuff Monday, we're getting stuff Wednesday, we're getting a new program and 2 Fridays in a row. Like I think people,
solid.
you know, it'd be like pretty solid.
Yeah, I agree. Rayweather, why don't they talk to us?
I don't know. What I think is this just an assumption is that I think that probably too many times in the past when they try to say something and then somehow like we know like I mean probably not recently but years ago sometimes they would say stuff and then they wouldn't be able to deliver on it and I think they get scared that if they say something and then like they can't deliver on it, then of course the backlash is going to be like 10 times worse. So I think it's like they stay quiet to the very last second to where it's like it's just set in stone. Like okay, now we can talk about it. That's what I think it is because if they say something and then something goes wrong and they say something too early, I think it's the same reason like when you look at last week with people's times running out on the trials, right? Until they were 100% sure what the issue was, they just weren't going to say anything. Because if they say something, I think the thing is like, right, when something's going wrong and like we're all mad, if they come out and say something, we want an answer. Like we don't want to, hey, we're looking into it or working on it. Like when people's times and running out on trials or when content's dry, like you want the answer. And if they can't give you the direct answer because they don't have the direct answer yet, then they're just not going to say anything. Because if they kind of just give you like a beat around the bush answer to hold you over, all that's going to do is make us more mad. So I think that's what it is. But because of how EA operates, it seems like they're very to the last minute with everything that's going on. So now that's why us on the other side, I mean, whether it be the competitive players, literally any section of people that play this game, they get the information at the very last like possible second, it seems like. You know? And I've even noticed, I've noticed like maybe not with MLB because I don't play it, but I've noticed this like with NBA 2K too. Like their game's about to come out in I think 2 weeks and they haven't like put out any info about the game like period yet. Which is crazy, and people are like, "Is the game being delayed? Where's the info?" And it just seems like companies more and more now. It's like they're just like not really being very. They're not good with communication anymore. Or at least the games that I follow. I'm sure there are games that are better with this, but the ones I follow, it seems like I always see those same complaints of like, we have no communication. We don't know what's going on until the very last second. So I don't really know what the cause of the problem is, but
MLB did
kind of common now.
MLB did their Diamond Dynasty news stream. What was it, like 4 hours before the game dropped or something like that? I think it was. It was literally the same day. Like they didn't give anyone any information until the game dropped, like the day. It was like hours before.
Yeah. So that's I could see that, and like your point about like if there's a mistake out there, waiting until they properly like replicate it and know what's going on before commenting makes sense, and that is what it is. But like as simple as like, you know, the content schedule and, you know, us in general, I like the fact that they did podcasts with themselves, but we don't really see any devs in the community anymore. And, you know, some of that's, you know, due to us driving them out, due to our angry takes at times, right?
Oh, 100%.
But like
they all think we're assholes.
Swami's the only one still out on the front lines.
Jake at least communicates with us a little bit. Jake can separate, you know, and what's the word I'm thinking of?
Compartmentalize.
Yes, thank you. He can do that very well, and I think Kralo does that very, very well. But too many of the other people, you tell them like, "Yo, game sucks," they get like so personally offended, and then literally just like never talk to anyone ever again. And like, you gotta have thick skin, bro. Like, if you're creating a product for such a mass amount of people, you got to be able to take the feedback and got to understand, like, some people are going to come up to you and be like, "Hello, Mr. Sir. I really appreciate all the work that you've done, but I really don't like how Deep Blues work." And, like, you take his feedback. And someone else is then going to come up to you and be like, "Yo, dumbass, your fucking Deep Blues suck." And, like, they need to be able to take, like, both of those people and realize, like, they're both right. Like, there's nothing wrong with how that is done. And like that's the world, bro.
Yeah, I miss Rex for that. Rex was great at that I can't even say it anymore.
Right.
And like he was great at like seeing the feedback and people getting angry at him, yelling at him, and like he just like brushed it off his shoulders. And like he understood the game is a very competitive game. Do you think EA, the people there, play the game, and especially the Mutt team? Do you think the Mutt team and some of the, like, I don't know, what are recent hires? I know Jake's kind of moved on from Ultimate Team, but like, do you think they understand why we play the game of Ultimate Team, why we enjoy it? Like, what's like? It feels like they don't with their actions recently.
They don't.
Is that just me?
Wait, Jake doesn't work on Ultimate Team no more?
No.
Really? I didn't know that. See, I'm saying, like, that's how much I know. I didn't know that.
Bro, you're supposed to be our plug in the loop, man. Like, come on.
I'm telling you.
Yeah, what the fuck, Rayweather?
I literally only talk to him now. Like, I mean, it's like I'm only usually hit up for, like, if it's like, oh, do you want to, like, do early content? Like, that's really it.
Listen,
Like, I'll pop in and
be a reason why you're not taking the coin deal, okay? You gotta have this information for it, okay?
I'll pop in there, like, the only other time I, like, contact them typically is if, like, there's, like, an issue that I gotta tell them about. But 9 out of 10, it's like everybody else has already, like, spammed them about it, so they already know. But I mean, that's like, I don't talk to them that much, you know. Like, it just is what it is. Like, it's not like, I don't think it's what people think. Like, you're just in constant contact with them. Like, it's really not. Like, so I don't know what's going on over there, to be honest with you.
You gotta have like bedtime talks with them, dude. Like they just, like, you know, just gossip about your day.
Like, I talk to
Rayweather.
Swami a lot, but it's not about EA related stuff. Like, we just talk like football and shit, you know. But like, I don't talk like I every now and then I'll text Kralo to see how he's doing. But like, me and Kralo don't really even, when I text him, it's not even to talk about Madden no more. It's just see how he's doing, because he's kind of like more in the background anyway, you know.
Right.
Yeah, Kralo deactivated his Discord account, so he doesn't have to talk to me no more.
I don't even know how to talk to Clint anymore. Like, the last couple times I tried to send a message to Clint, I didn't get a response. So like, I don't even know how to, like, get to him anymore. Like, Discord or Twitter. Like, dead ass. Like, I used to go to him all the time and, like, either to ask him a question about something in the game if I wasn't sure how, like, a mechanic was supposed to work, you know, or like if there was something I needed to report to him that was messed up. But I don't even know how to talk to him anymore. I've not been able to communicate with him in probably like a year. So I mean, it's like, it's just like, it's even for us, like, the communication isn't always the best either, you know? Like,
Yeah.
we're being honest.
Yeah, there's definitely been some barriers going up between the community and EA, and I think that's one of the reasons why we're losing so much. It feels like, for the good and the fun parts of Mutt. So I don't know. I guess, like, we can wrap it up here. We've given our thoughts. Like, overall, like, from each one of you, I want to hear what your hope level is for 22. Like, give me a rating out of, like, 10, and then, like, just some last words about, like, what your any thoughts on 22 so far, and if you're excited. Let me hear from Scomo first.
I'm hoping that we get a good day one patch. I mean, obviously we know the history of patch.
Didn't we already get it?
Huh?
Didn't we already get that patch?
I don't think that was the patch.
No.
I think that was just like an emergency.
Yeah, I don't think so
There's
either.
an official patch
That
that
was
will
like a
come
hot
out
fix.
like when it globally releases.
Right. I don't think
Really?
that was the day one patch.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that.
Okay.
Well,
was
I don't
not
100.
the day
I don't
one
100% know if that's true or not, but the one we got the other day, I don't think was like the
patch.
official.
Yeah, I don't
day
think it
one
was
patch
either. I don't think it was either.
Okay.
So I'm hoping that the patch comes in. Once again, I feel like the game on next gen is really, really smooth. If they can fix some of the logic of some of the stuff works on defense and create us some defense, or someone can find some stuff and, you know, we actually figure out how to run defense this year, then I think the game could be a lot of fun. But we said this last time I was on your stuff, and like, I'm to the point where I'm not a competitive guy. I'm not trying to go into tournaments and stuff like that. I want the game to be fun. I want the community and this fucking company to stop fighting each other. And I want shit to actually get better. And I mean, it's just going in the wrong direction. And I want something big to happen just to wake them up and be like, okay, maybe we should be on the same side. And like, that's all I want. That's like literally all I want is the separation. Like, it's them against us, and that's got to stop. That's it.
Yeah, I think I this day one patch, I said the same thing. I really are we really inhaling copium here? Is it actually going to fix the things that we want to fix, or is it still going to be another year of Madden 22?
There's no way a day one patch can solve all these issues.
Yeah.
People
What
have
about
too much
you,
faith.
Mikemaacc? What do you
This is the engine.
what are your
Band-Aids
thoughts?
won't help.
Your excitement and hype level for 22, and any final words and thoughts on, you know, EA and the no money spent grind?
I mean, first off, I just want to say, I don't know if I made this abundantly clear, but it's fuck EA till the day I die. There is no that there is there. It's just fuck EA, okay? I just want to make that very abundantly clear. I was only playing the devil's advocate,
simp.
okay? I have had a coin deal since I can remember. The last time I interacted was with an EA employee.
Simp?
It was Rex, and it was at EA Play, and he thought I was Kohlenberger. He tagged me.
He's trying to save face, guys. Don't believe
He
him.
tagged me. You can find the tweet.
Mac in the chat.
You can find
The
you
Dan
can find
pressed
the
him, and
tweet.
now he's trying to backpedal.
Rayweather, Scomo, I can hear it, and Guffox, I can hear it from but Rayweather, I don't want to hear it. All right, I don't want to hear it.
Don't do me
I'm
like
not even.
that. Don't do me like that.
I'm not on that team. You're
Don't do me like
you're
that.
playing for that team, dude. I'm a free agent right now. Okay, I'm a fucking free agent. But no,
Okay.
in all seriousness, I'm hopeful, but I guess the word is like cautiously optimistic. I'm hoping that leveling up becomes just a little bit easier. I'm hoping that the content is still there. The fact that Jake Stein doesn't do Ultimate Team anymore, and I didn't know that actually is terrifying because that is terrifying because he was like the bright light, like he was the hope. He last year brought so much good shit, so much. It was incredible.
I don't think there's any originals left, and I think that's the problem. Billy, they're all gone. All the originals are gone.
JP left too.
And when you're like, they don't know what we want. The people that created the mode, there's no one left.
Because you can say what you want, but it's like, especially when it comes to Jake, and I know like from the little I've been able to like know JP while he was there, like they cared about Ultimate Team. Like, I mean, if anybody that knows Jake knows that, like Jake really cared. So it's like, if he's moving on, it's like we don't know who all the new people are. It's like, who's to say they care like those guys did? Maybe to them it's just a job.
Yep.
But we know like Jake really cared, and I think that showed at times in certain things that we got. So it's like, who's to say the new people there care as much, or who's to say EA didn't put people in there like specifically to like who they know are gonna just follow orders? Like, we don't care about making necessarily the best experience. We care about making the most money, so we're gonna put people in place to do that. I don't know that that's true. I'm just saying like that could be a possibility. But with Jake, at least we always knew like there's someone there that like has our back to an extent, like within Ultimate Team. Now we don't know that for sure if there's a person like that.
Jake was always a nice person too. A lot of the EA guys will act
Hey,
nice.
Jake was awesome.
They'll act nice when you meet him in person, and then the moment it goes back to virtual, it's like it's a different story. Jake has always been he's been good at his job and a nice person. So that's the last thing I'll say about that.
Yeah.
But as for like what I think about the game, I mean, I like next gen. Like, I like next gen and Madden 21. I'm a sicko. I'm a weirdo. All right. That I didn't mind it. I like the feel of a new game. I don't like playing the same type of shit all the time. I don't know. So they need to fix Deep Blues very bad. Cover 2 has to be viable. You have to be able to play quarters to a point. I don't want to just sit in cover 3 the entire time, but after that, I mean, it is what it is. Like I said, I'm on the wave of not really caring. Right. So you guys can I don't know, be hopeful for it. I'll be cautiously optimistic, but say what you want.
Chat. All right, Rayweather, let's hear your hope for Madden 22, and let's what copium are you taking right now for this year?
I just need zones fixed, and I think at that point, I think I could enjoy it. Cause like, and I'm still not a fan of the movement on next gen, but I've kind of gotten over it. Cause I mean, that's clearly the direction they're going. I mean, I don't think they're gonna like revert back from it. So there's good and bad with it. I think the good that comes from it is I think there's a aspect that's good about user defenders being a little more limited because they could do too much before. I just think it's like there's not quite balance. I think it went to from one extreme to the other. But either way, I can kind of get past the movement is what I'm saying. But the zones being this bad is like, that's something you can't get past. Like, they need to fix that. And if they fix that, I think it's early. So I think right now, if that was fixed, I think I'd be enjoying the game pretty much. But with that, it's holding things back. But I agree with Mike. I like just the fact that it feels new because like we were all on, old gen last year and now we're here. Like it at least feels like a new experience. It doesn't feel like the exact same Madden we've played for the last like 8 years. Cause movement's different. Like you got momentum and stuff. I know some people hate it or whatever, but it's like I like new. I like something that's at least different, like different elements going on. So I like all of that. It's just with zones being this bad, it's like I don't know. That's just really holding the game back. But if 'cause I didn't really like Madden 21 much, and maybe I'm in the minority. I didn't really care for 21 too much. So for me, if I had to choose, I would choose probably a game where it's a lot of high scoring on both sides rather than 9 in coverage, one step ahead, man deep. Like I think I would rather just high scoring over how some of the metas were last year for a while, where it was just like just everybody in coverage and just man defense sticking to everybody.
Yeah.
Like to me, that's just more boring of a game, but it's just preference. So.
If 21 had 22s or 20s weak box system where if you rush 2 you get pancakes, then the meta completely changed. I think 21's a much more balanced game.
Right.
I don't know why they took it out. I don't know why they took it out.
They
last
should
year.
never
That
took
made
that
no sense
out.
to me.
Nah,
Yeah.
they shouldn't have. That was actually a good feature just to even if it wasn't the most realistic way to implement it, the fact that it negated people dropping 9 was a good thing.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Well, guys, I appreciate you coming on. Could a mod or two in chat put their YouTube channels? Could you go grab them and then spam them in chat for people to go sub to? Appreciate you guys. Bengal SC's in chat, calling him Eric Simpweather, and just having a good old time. So I appreciate you guys. Let's do it again soon.
Of course, anytime, bro.
All right. Love you all. Take it easy. YouTube.com/Sims. See you guys.